You know, we do it something like 20,000 times a day, usually without even thinking about it. Breathing. But what if I told you that every single breath you take is actually the start of this incredible, high-stakes journey deep inside your own body? Come on, let's follow on and see just where it goes.
I mean, really, where does it go? You breathe in and it just sort of feels like it disappears into your chest, right? But its real destination is way more complex, and its mission, well, its mission is absolutely vital. So let's trace that path from the outside world all the way to its final microscopic stop.
So before we start the trip, we got to understand the why. What's the mission? Why do we even bother breathing? And the answer is actually really simple and kind of profound. It's all about energy. Every single thing you do, every thought, every heartbeat, it's all powered by the oxygen you're breathing in right now.
Now, at the very heart of this mission is a process with a fancy name, cellular respiration. But really, it's just microscopic magic. Your cells are taking that oxygen, mixing it with the food you've eaten, and unlocking its energy. They store that energy in a molecule called ATP. Think of ATP as the battery pack for your entire body. Without oxygen, you've got no power. Simple as that.
But here's the thing. It isn't just a delivery mission. It's a swap, a trade. Breathing is a total two-way street. For all that vital oxygen we bring in, our body has to get rid of the trash, the waste product, carbon dioxide. It's the ultimate exchange program, and it's happening with every single breath you take.
All right, mission understood. Bring in the good stuff, take out the bad stuff. Now, let's actually follow the air as it starts its trip. This is the scenic route through your respiratory system, and believe me, there are some pretty fascinating stops along the way.
So, how does the air even get inside in the first place? Well, it's all thanks to this powerhouse of a muscle you have right under your lungs called the diaphragm. When you breathe in, it flexes and pulls down, making your chest bigger. This creates a vacuum, and whoosh, air is literally pulled into your nose or mouth. It's just a brilliant piece of engineering.
But hold on, that air can't just come rushing in. Nope, your body is way too smart for that. Before any air can reach your delicate lungs, it has to get through a seriously tough quality control checkpoint. Think of it like security at the airport.
And that first security checkpoint is your nose, and it has three crucial jobs. It's not just for smelling. First, it's a filter, trapping dust and germs. Second, it's a heater, warming up cold air so it doesn't shock your lungs. And third, it's a humidifier, adding moisture to the air. All of that happens in a split second. Amazing, right? Okay, the air passed inspection. Now it's on the main highway down. First, it goes through the pharynx, that's your throat. Then it zips past the larynx, your voice box, which is literally what I'm using to talk to you right now. From there, it dives into the trachea, or your windpipe. This main pipe splits into two big highways called the bronchi, and those branch off into thousands of smaller and smaller roads, the bronchioles, all leading to the final destination.
And here we are. We've made it. We're deep inside the lungs, at the very end of the line. This is the place we've been traveling to, the spot where the most important transaction in your entire body happens, millions of times a minute. This is the main event.
I want you to meet the alveoli. You have something like 300 million of these little guys. They're like microscopic bunches of grapes, and their walls are incredibly, unbelievably thin. We're talking just 1 cell thick. And they're totally wrapped up in a dense web of tiny blood vessels. This design is no accident. It's absolutely perfect for what's about to happen.
This is it. This is where the great exchange happens. The oxygen molecules literally pass right through those super thin walls of the alveoli and jump straight into your bloodstream. And at the exact same time, the carbon dioxide waste that your blood's been carrying around jumps out of the bloodstream and into the alveoli, ready for you to breathe it out. It's a perfect, instantaneous swap. So, now the oxygen is in the blood. But how does it get to, say, your big toe? It hitches a ride. There's a special protein in your red blood cells called hemoglobin, and it basically acts like a microscopic taxi service. It grabs onto the oxygen and ferries it all the way from your lungs to every single cell in your body that needs it.
Okay, so that's the epic journey of a single breath. But the story doesn't quite end there. Turns out your respiratory system is a master multitasker. It's got some pretty surprising side hustles you might not know about.
You know, when you think about it, all those different parts we just followed on the journey, the nose, the diaphragm, the windpipe, they all have their own specific vital job, right? But they aren't just working by themselves. They're this perfectly coordinated team, and their talents go way beyond just moving air around.
Just look at these other amazing talents.
By controlling how much CO2 you breathe out, the system keeps your blood's chemistry perfectly balanced. We already mentioned how the larynx gives you your voice and how the nose is behind your sense of smell. But don't forget, it is also your body's first line of defense against all sorts of airborne germs. It's so much more than just a pair of lungs. So let's bring this all home. From a simple muscle flexing to a mind-bogglingly complex gas exchange on a microscopic level, this whole process is a constant, quiet miracle that just keeps us going. But why is it so critical?
To really get why every breath matters, you just have to remember one number. That's it, a single, small number that puts everything we just talked about into perfect perspective. 3.
3 minutes. That is typically how long the human brain, the command center for your entire body, can survive without a fresh delivery of oxygen. That one fact right there tells you everything you need to know about the non-stop, life-or-death importance of this journey we've just followed.
It really is the engine, the exhaust system, and the power grid for our bodies all rolled into one amazing package. I think our source material puts it perfectly. It's a critical life support system that ensures continuous oxygen delivery. It doesn't get much more important than that.
And here's one last thing to think about. This entire, unbelievably complex journey happens automatically. You never have to tell your body to breathe, it just does. It's a masterpiece of quiet, reliable, perfect efficiency. So what can we learn from a system that performs its vital mission so perfectly and so humbly with every single breath we take?